Hi! Welcome into Paul Catalina's Top 5. I hope you enjoyed that entrance because I just tore my ACL. Today, we're going to talk about the top 5 year one coaches I am most excited about. Why me? Because this is the title of this segment. And I am Paul Catalina, and I get to make the decisions. Presented, of course, by Texas Beef House. Go to texasbeefhouse.com. The link will be in the description to this. But these are the top 5 year one coaches I am most excited about, or curious, excited, one or the other. Number 5. Willie Fritz at Houston. This is a guy who has certainly earned his chance to prove it at the Autonomy 4 level. He's done great at Sam Houston State. He did great at Tulane. He brings a coaching style that is respected by all and a program that needed just a change of attitude. Not knocking Dana Holgorsen, but it had clearly kind of worn thin there in Houston what was going on with Dana and that program. Plus, not totally convinced that Dana loves the way that college football works anymore and might just go wind up being a coordinator or a position coach somewhere and be happy with that as he rides out, or take all his big pile of money and go fishing. Wouldn't be surprised either way. But Willie Fritz's offense will be fun to watch in Houston. His attitude that he brings on defense will be fun to watch in Houston. And the fact that he's a new coach in the new Big 12 should be really fun to watch as the new 16-team Big 12 kicks off play this year. Number 4, Jeff Lebby at Mississippi State. This is a guy I'm familiar with because he was here at Baylor under Art Briles as the running backs coach and has moved up the level ever since, becoming one of the most respected offensive coordinators in the country. He left his alma mater, Oklahoma, to go to Mississippi State. I'm very curious to see if he can recapture some of that Mike Leach offensive magic. And, of course, he has former Baylor quarterback, a guy he's never coached before, but now will have Blake Shapen taking over. Very intriguing to see what he can do at Mississippi State in the toughest conference in America right off the bat. It might be a little bit of a struggle early on for him, but I think that kind of wide open offense is what Mississippi State needs to run, and they might be able to jump to the front of the line if he can install that high-flying offense quicker, because it certainly worked under Mike Leach. And don't get me wrong, Jeff Lebby is no Mike Leach. No one is a Mike Leach, but he does run a wide open offense and should be fun for the quarterbacks to run and attractive for quarterbacks to come to. Mind you, this is a guy who's coached Dylan Gabriel at multiple places, and now Jackson Arnold at Oklahoma, who's taking over next year. Not to mention RG3, Nick Florence, Bryce Petty, and all the great quarterbacks that they had at Baylor. Seth Russell, I didn't forget about you. Hope you don't watch this and say, oh my God, Paul, my dear friend forgot about me. Number 3, Sherrone Moore at Michigan. This is an almost completely new roster at Michigan when it comes to the starters. They had a ton of guys graduate and go to the NFL draft. Didn't lose a lot to the transfer portal, and the guys they lost you probably wouldn't kick up a fuss about. Now, he does have EA Sports cover boy Donovan Edwards in the backfield as one of his running backs, but he's coming off a season where, again, he fell into the background with Blake Corum a little bit. You've seen him make big plays. He should be the driving force of the offense, but they did lose Roman Wilson and Blake Corum and J.J. McCarthy, and they don't know who their quarterback is going to be. But Sherrone Moore stepped in during tumultuous times at Michigan last year and helped them stay the course on their way to the national title. If not for Sherrone Moore and his steady hand, Michigan is probably not hoisting that trophy because one little loss would have derailed the entire thing. Number 2, Brent Brennan at Arizona. This is a guy who worked his way up from San Jose State and is very well thought of in the coaching profession, but is taking over a very unique situation when it comes to Arizona. He inherits a great quarterback and a great wide receiver in Fafita and McMillan, but he is entering into a new conference. Arizona's just off their best season in forever there in Tucson. So he comes with lofty expectations and hope for the future for Arizona as they move into the new league. But I think he's a great fit there, and the fact that they get retained their 2 best players on offense makes me confident for the future that they can really do some things at Arizona under Brent Brennan. And number 1, Kalen DeBoer at Alabama. Nothing will be more interesting to me this season on how you replace the legend of all legends. Look, Zeus didn't step down as the head god of the Greeks. And I know that's not the proper terminology there, but basically you're replacing Zeus, dude. you have a gigantic amount of expectations. And Alabama fans will not know how to deal with the new world of college football where automatically things kind of go their way. Now, is he going to win there? Probably. He's won every single place he's ever been, and he is fantastic at coaching. But now Alabama does not have that Nick Saban shield that they had that kept all the talent in-house that they normally wouldn't have gotten. Even Georgia loses guys because they're not so much guaranteed. Now, they're the new kind of Alabama with Kirby Smart and have that layer of protection, but it's thinner now with the 12-team playoff, with NIL, with the transfer portal. Nick Saban was able to ward a lot of that off because if you played for Nick Saban, you were probably going to the NFL and going to get your shot. That is not necessarily the case anymore, although Kalen DeBoer will put plenty of players in the NFL. Just ask that Washington roster last year, but it's going to be very difficult to equal the dominance that Nick Saban, the Zeus of college football, rolled through Tuscaloosa for the last near 20 years. That's going to do it for the top 5. Craig and I wrap it up right now.